And I'm joined by Luca and Rossano from AKA Shape of Water. How you guys doing? It's good to talk to you again.
Good to see you.
Good, thank you.
Yeah,
Very nice
good.
to talk to you.
Cheers, buddy. As you say, like, a couple of weeks back, you guys released your new album, Amor Fati. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Uh,
Amor Fati.
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah.
it's a great album, man. As I was chatting obviously to yourself, Rossano, but before on the release date, I was fortunate enough to have the office to myself, so I sat with it there on loop, soaking it up. I can't get enough of it, mate. This album is fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Which one is your favorite song?
Numbers, probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're the second one.
Star Child after that, I reckon. Yeah, after that, I would say Star Child. I really like it. It's that those more progressive, experimental kind of ambient pieces. You had them in your first album. They're sort of showing a little bit, but it just feels like on this second album, you've really opened that side of you guys up.
It's really what I wanted to do, to be honest. Because we were thinking straight after we released Great Illusions, we were thinking, right, so are we going now to just narrow our music to one specific genre, or maybe we're gonna do Shape of Water, 360? And we picked the second choice.
Well, actually, it came quite natural.
Obviously, yeah, but we thought about it though. Yeah. Well, to be honest, it happened also it was natural, and it happened. We didn't realize we were writing the new album, to be honest, because obviously when we released Great Illusions, I think we spoke about that as well last time. We couldn't promote it because it was during lockdown. So we started, we released Lockdown on Mars, the EP, and that was just a way to promote Great Illusions, to be honest. But at the same time, we were meeting more often because we had definitely more time to spend together and to do things. And then at the very beginning, we were a bit worried that, right, okay, we released the first album, and now what? Now what's going to happen? We don't have anything now. So we don't have any songs. But then after that, after a few months, we meet up again, and it was like, right, okay, we actually have two albums now ready.
Yeah, because we started with Panic, with the black canvas, with the white canvas, sorry, and we didn't know what to do. And in a certain point, we just started putting down some ideas, and everything came super fast.
Oh, wow. So was there one song in particular that started the whole sort of more open, as you say, in the more 360 Shape of Water sound that was decided you guys going down that route, or?
Where do we started?
I don't know. I think we started with the Ghost in Manchester.
Oh yeah, we started with the Ghost in Manchester, right?
Because so that song we released that already last year in October. Because that was probably the first song we wrote, what he wrote. And now that's really a weird song. We wanted to, but when we liked it, we wanted to release somehow. So we said, you know what, we had it, just do it now for Halloween, because it's a kind of a spooky song, I'd say. But yeah, that was the beginning, and we, instead of trying to look for a chorus, like a verse, a standard structure and chorus verse, we said, you know what, fuck it,
let's go with dodecaphony.
And we just put everything we could think about, like trombones and no real drums apart from the ending, and then that Queen bit, and then there's basically the trombones part on the heavy and on the heavy part is dodecaphony, basically. So there are two parts, trombone parts. They are playing all the 12 notes, and they are basically crossing each other. So you cannot really understand, but they are playing the whole 12 notes.
The whole spectrum.
Yeah.
And even the idea to put that little cameo, the little Easter eggs, Queen Easter eggs, it wasn't because we are fan, of course, it is for that as well, but mostly because Bohemian Rhapsody talked about him killing a part of himself, and this song basically talks about the ghost inside you, the ghost, the past that live with you, and from a certain point of view shapes you. And so just because the storytelling was so similar, I wanted the listener to get it.
Yeah,
and so
this that similarity, that link, that sort of,
yeah.
Basically, that was the first song we actually wrote for Amor Fati, and then from that, then obviously
there was no more limits.
Yeah, exactly.
That must have been quite freeing, though, like you say, when you write a song like that is so expensive, and obviously, like you say, taking your own inspiration side there from Bohemian Rhapsody, which in itself obviously pushed boundaries out and everything. It's got to be nice. I mean, like I said before, there's a lot of great bands that are coming through the ranks, and a lot of them I do obviously play on the show, have on my festival, everything else. But you guys always you poking your head above everyone, because everyone else is very much on a blues rock kind of scale, very hard rock hitting, and I love all that. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking as a man with an Aerosmith tattoo, so I like my hard rock. But equally, what I'm always and that's probably why I sat there listening to the album for so long, is because you've got all these other elements, and it's just you've really got a sound of your own, and that is nothing but a compliment. And I think on this second album, it's really showing that.
If you think about Aerosmith, I love Aerosmith. Yeah. They start with this blues underground, but they are so peculiar in their thing. So I think this research is needed in art in order to create something that stands out, and this is what we want to do.
I think with myself, with albums that, there's albums that are more of an instant hit because they've got on a groove or got on a rhythm with you, that I like, but it's always the albums that have got more to show, more to pay attention to, that sort of grow on you, and you're discovering more with each listen. Like I feel like I am with this. They're the albums that stick with me more than the albums that initially I was like, wow, that was 10 great songs. When there's more to it, I think it stays with you.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. That happens a lot. Happened in the past for instance, Muse. Not now, really, but before. Obviously, Muse for me, like
or radio.
I could still hear a lot of Muse in it. To be fair, like more like Black Hose and Revelations kind of era, kind of Muse, when they themselves went down a bit more of an experimental route, and they're more going down that route. So I think it's still there within your sound. You can certainly hear your influences as such, but I can't get enough of this album, mate. I keep saying I need to sort out a come see you guys live, because I've not seen you live yet. And
actually
9th of December, if you can, in Manchester. So yeah, that we obviously we were practicing now for that gig. We're practicing a lot. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna play at the night and day
in Manchester. How far are you from Manchester?
About 4 hours.
That's quite a lot. We can put you in a list if you want.
It's not unknown for me to travel for a gig, to be fair. So,
or we can come at Push Play. Just push play.
I would love to have you guys on at some point. I really would. It'd be fun. But yeah, is the gig on the 9th of Manchester album? Is that the next live show that you've got?
Yeah, yes. It's going to be the album launch party, and we actually are going to have probably a party after that. And obviously then after that it's going to be Christmas time, so we didn't want to do anything else for that time. But then we will start doing something more for next year.
Cool.
Yeah, we got just already some festivals, few festivals.
Yeah, I can see some festivals already popping up for you guys on the.
Yeah,
already getting locked in there, which is great.
Yeah, we love to play festivals because I think we do a good show live, and people likes it, so it's fun.
When we played the New Wave of Classic Rock Live Fest,
I saw some videos from that. It looked wicked.
That was amazing, because also there we didn't, the word pyro. We didn't expect that. There was I don't know if you know Richard from New Wave of Classic Rock.
Oh, Richard Brinley, yeah, I know.
Richard. So we were just we went on stage just before starting. And it came to me there. I said, yeah, I don't know. What I don't know. Let's see.
It was some sort of non-verbal communication.
Exactly. I was like, what did he say? I don't really know what he said, but let's say yes. And then obviously when we started the first song, the pyro just they exploded. It was like, okay, that's what he meant.
You're no better to ask him to say what he wanted next time.
Yeah, probably.
You don't want to do a James Hetfield and being stood near it.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
there was.
No, I bet, man. The guy, they looked like it was a good show. I was supposed to be coming up to that, but unfortunately, I was down in Cornwall, so I was literally at the opposite end of the country before. But no, it looked like the sets were great. It really did. So, how does it work? Obviously, this album, there's a lot of different layers to it. Actually, how is that working on trying translating that to a live setting? But that's complicated.
Right. It's definitely complicated. Obviously, we play with backing tracks, but we are absolutely trying to put as much as music to play for us live. So we are implementing some actual electronic drums. Tom's on drums, so he's gonna bring his SPDs.
We got weird sound. We got a keyboard.
We're probably gonna start and bring it. So because the thing is, I'm a keyboard player. I'm not a bass player. So that's my.
You fooled me.
It also, I don't know if you see that slide, but some picture. I just stick a MIDI controller on my bass.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason for that is just because we didn't have space on the car to bring to bring keys. So it's like, okay, I need to play keys somehow, so I just stick that. But for this album, I will definitely need also an actual keyboard, because there are some parts that they require me to actually play. So yeah, we will definitely implement more stuff on stage, and hopefully so maybe some extra.
In terms of instrument on stage, we play a lot with electronics, so there are a lot of few pedals and things that goes through the computer. I think even in terms of instrumentation, we are pretty weird. But for the musician, because we did in the album a lot of collaboration with different musicians, so we got saxophones, so we got violins, so we got trombones and things. For that, at the moment, I think we are gonna use it in backing track, but it will be amazing to have more musicians on stage with us.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. The idea, so the dream is to have like playing a big stage, obviously with an orchestra, with brass and stuff, and that'd be amazing. Maybe one day, hopefully.
You can get there one day, and sure, in the meantime, you'll make it work.
That's the big dream.
Going back to the recording of the album, though, did I see right, Arisano, that you produced it yourself? Was that right?
Yes. Yeah. So, we basically produced it at home.
Oh, wow.
So 3 out of 10 songs were produced by another guy. This producer is called Tate, and he's in Manchester, in Rochdale. He's a nice guy, so we wanted to collaborate anyway with a lot of people. So we wanted these 3 singles to be produced by a different person. So there's Newt, Falling, and Don't Leave Me in the Dark. They were produced by Tate, but everything else has been produced, recorded, mixed, everything at home. Oh, wow. So even the guitars, we actually recorded the guitars at home.
Well, we actually started to move the amplifiers around the house to see where it was the best sound, the one that we like the most. At the end, we decided the stairs.
Yeah.
So make it difficult.
And I, to be honest, I had a lot of pressure when I started to mix the album, because it was like, okay, this is just the band's second album. So if I make a mess, it's gonna be all my fault. Great. But then eventually it turns out to be okay. So,
well, I'm surprised it was all recorded at home, mate, given the sound on it, because I've heard other albums that have been recorded in similar scenarios and they don't sound as good as this. So well done. I think you did all right.
Thanks. Yeah. Obviously, apart from drums, we didn't record drums at home because that would have been impossible.
Well, drums has been recorded around the world because Nate recorded his drum in Los Angeles. Then we had some drums recorded in Portugal and some in England.
Yeah. So yeah,
wow.
Apart from that, everything else it's recorded at home.
So did you use as many? I'm guessing you didn't use as many people as you did on your first album as you have done on.
We definitely use more people in this album. On our first album, we had Marco on drums. And he's amazing. He's an amazing drummer, but he's definitely very busy now. So we decided to try and collaborate with more people, because that's what we want to do as well anyway. Obviously drums is the main thing that we need in the album. So there's also Tom, which is our current live drummer. In Falling and the Snoot. But yeah, we have definitely a lot of drummers in the album.
Where did the artwork come for all the videos? Because the video for Star Child was brilliant. I love that.
I did it at home.
You did everything you're doing at home. I should just stop writing questions down and go, right, they did everything at home. They did it all by themselves. They're brilliant.
Well, in the beginning, we had a different storyboard, but because of the rain, because we were running out of time and budget, we were short. We had to
improvise
basically, yeah. And so we recorded most of the video around
here,
the city, in Manchester, and half of it inside this exact room.
Fair play.
The same was with the video of Don't Leave Me in the Dark. We filmed this dildo just standing over there. We create this little room out of a box, and then I did the animations.
Yeah.
That's wicked, man. I didn't know. Yeah, sounds like you don't need. Sounds like you're collaborating with a lot of people, but you don't necessarily need them.
No.
Well, technically, no. But obviously, it's also good to share things, because sometimes there are things that we don't realize. For instance, we can write drums part, but maybe there are, an actual drummer can be definitely better in doing things that we don't think about. Same for.
And in communication, it's always good to share, so you can see things from other perspective. So sometimes your idea change, and at the end, art is communication. So
definitely,
we like to think about ourselves like Shape of Water is a little art community.
No, I like that, man. That's cool. I like the way you do things. Like you're saying, obviously you've collaborated with a lot of people on this album. If you could collaborate with one musician, anyone, who would you want to collaborate with?
Oh God!
That's difficult.
Tom York.
Tom York or Bjork?
Tom York.
Tom York.
Like a mashup of Tom York and Bjork together. Tom Bjork.
Tom Bjork.
Honestly, Bjork, I think he could be like a great value.
Oh yeah, Tom York as well.
Tom York as well, but just in a different way.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, she's still being innovative now. I mean, her last album was like really still pushing boundaries. It's
she's amazing.
She is. And I think there's like, with Bjork is someone that it's not an influence you often hear people mentioning, but I think undoubtedly she's one of the best artists that have come out the last 30 years. She's constantly pushing boundaries, constantly a bit like, someone like David Bowie, she's constantly reevaluating. She doesn't sit on her past hits and her past, songs that have got the recognition. She's what I would call a true artist, someone who's constantly trying to push that.
Yeah, and she has a very awesome taste, because when you push boundary, it's easy sometimes to lose your taste in the middle of the path,
Definitely.
But she does it good.
Yeah, she does it. So what was the rest of the year and into next year hold for you guys? What have you got lined up other than
to be honest, now is the time for us to play big. What we want to do really is try and get as much as live shows and festivals, and obviously here in the UK. We're trying also to do some homecoming gigs in our hometown in Italy.
Nice.
Let's see how it goes.
Probably in springs. And shall we say that we are already writing new stuff?
Yeah, of course. Well, to be honest, we wrote lot of stuff that does not been included in Amor Fati, but we actually have already, like, I wouldn't say another album ready, but almost. So yeah, we are trying, and we'll see for that. But to be honest, for now, the main focus is playing live as much as we can.
That's brilliant. And so the tickets for anyone who's listening for your album launch show, they on your website, I take it? Anyone can just go to that and grab tickets?
Yeah, they're on wetickets.com. They can buy them there. And then obviously now today actually we're gonna well, in this case gonna be next week, last week because we're gonna obviously push it online and everywhere so people will be able to buy the tickets everywhere.
Excellent. So when I air the interview, what I'll do is I'll find that link and I'll post up on our socials while we're in this interview live so people can.
Thank you so much.
No worries at all, guys. Look, great to chat to you. Let's hope we'll catch up for a beer in a gig scene, and hopefully I can get up for that gig in Manchester. At the beginning of the interview, I'm going to play numbers. As I said, it's one of my favourites off the album, so I'm going to play numbers at the beginning. But what song off the album would you like us to play at the end of the interview?
Words in Eternity?
Okay. I was just about to say Starchild, but what's whatever.
Or even Starchild, yeah.
And I don't know whether I don't know.
Numbers, it just came out one day because I was going to work, and I was just tightening my tie. It was so difficult for me to recognize myself at the mirror. I was like, who am I? Am I my job? Because I'm spending so much time. And I remember that just while I was walking through the road to go to work, I just started writing these words.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and this is how numbers came.
That's cool. It's funny. You do get inspiration from various places. I once, nothing to do with what I was doing in the shower, but I ended up writing lyrics in the steam on the shower while I was writing. I was having a shower, and I'd had this sort of one lyric in my head that had been going around in the band I was in a few years back now. And this one line had been going around in my head, and it was going around my head while I was getting sorted to go to uni, basically. And then the next line came in, and I was like, I've got to write this down, or we're just gonna go. So I'm like, obviously, I'm in the shower. I don't have a pen, so like, what can I do? So I ended up just like writing it on the shower wall in the steam. It managed to last just long enough for me to go down and write it, but I got out. But yeah, it's funny. Yeah. It's funny how things come to you, man.
When lyrics comes into your mind or songs, you have to be very fast, otherwise they live forever.
Definitely do. All right, dudes. Thanks for your time. It's been great to chat to you as always. And we'll catch up soon. Right, cheers, guys.